I will turn our volume up, and greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads, and welcome back to our Misadventures continued game. And this game is a disclaimer. This game is a family-friendly-ish game. There's adventure, there's high adventure, there's danger and stuff like that. But if you let your kids watch Saturday morning cartoons or stuff like that, then you are going to be fine listening to this together.
And by friendly, it gets as friendly as the whole town disappearing, but everything being there already.
Yes, very spoopy. But otherwise, it is a family-friendly game. This is played in Open Legend, for those that are wondering, and we are about to get into it. Before we do, some shout-outs to other channels. If you like having a lot of fun in your games and you're looking for something more with Open Legend live plays, there is one by a group called Bomb Squad and Avenue Studios. If you look them up on YouTube, they have some fun actual plays, so you can go over there if you want to check them out too. So shout out to them. As far as anything different or new as for announcements, the Inn of Planar Crossroads, by the time this is coming out, has started printing, doing 3D printing for people that are our patrons for like models and terrain and stuff like that. So if you're interested in getting in on that and having some access to print them every month, then you can go over to our Patreon or a Subscribe Star and check out those rewards. We will soon be releasing our 500 subscriber one-shot, so if we haven't yet, we will be soon. And I believe that's everything. Don't have anything different or new to go into, so let's go ahead and get into the game. When last we left our hero, he had gone unconscious when he was in this battle with the dark folk and was investigating what might have happened to the town and what might have happened to Crossroads. And strange things happened around this odd and ominous floating disc. His blood spilled out in it, and an avaricious and gaseous form flew into it and formed into this boy who bears a shield, but doesn't seem to be able to talk verbally anyway, communicate verbally. But there was a moment of understanding between them before the dark folk overwhelmed Caesar and made him go unconscious. But apparently the boy stood between the dark folk and him and was able to leap through the portal of this assumes it's a portal because of some kind, because Caesar had felt himself pulled, picked up, and jumping, felt somebody holding him and jumping into this disc's cracks and openings that seem to go back and forth and open and close. And he fell through and everything went black. And then he found himself awake, recovered in this strange place of dark, well, pretty dark stone. There was a small fire with the boy there who was munching on some kind of thing that he had, some kind of creature that he had found, mixed between a rat and lizard and bug thing. So there was that, but the eating of it was not something that Caesar was particularly interested in, though he was able to communicate some with the boy, and there were 2 entrances and exits to the place that he was at. The room he was in, he couldn't see the ceiling of, but the room itself is sized for, or was very tall, and as if it didn't have a top to it. The the boy kind of told him not to go one way, to go another, and when Caesar wanted to go the way that he was indicating he could, the boy went with him, and they found the edge, and Caesar kind of jumped, found the disc that was floating there with the cracks and things in it, and he decided to take a leap towards the disc to see what would happen if he tried to go back through it. So he went through and he tried to fly over there in his dragon form, and he kind of flew a little bit, and then he felt this weirdness. He gave himself some wings, he says. And he felt this weird pulling back again, and he found that he flew some, and when he went over the edge of this, into this darkness, the gravity kind of pulled him back around, and he was on the underside. And this surprised the boy, because he had never done anything like that. He wasn't about to leap into nothingness. So he kind of looked around, and he was able to come back to the other side to this bottom side, or this top side, you're not sure, of this thing that seems to be suspended. And as best he could make it out, and as you are seeing on your screen, there's some kind of tower thing with stones that have the etchings of those strange markings going up and down it, and that gives off just enough light to let you know that there is some kind of tower there, stretching upward, downward. Those are relative terms now. Upward from the floor that they are currently on. And now they're looking about, and they were about to go through this large opening, and they heard a type of noise.
I turned into a cat, a small cat.
You turn into a cat.
A small cat. I'll be a scaredy cat.
Okay.
I'm just gonna turn into a cat.
You can turn into a cat.
Smaller cat.
Okay. So you turn into a smaller cat. You can, yeah, because you're only 6 feet tall, which means you can go down to 1.5 feet, which is it's a larger house cat, but it is a cat. So you go into a cat form, and you hide. The spot that you're at has a bunch of rubble in it and things like that.
Is there any corners?
Not at the spot that you're at. You came into a kind of crumbled room, and that room has a bunch of rubble in it that you could hide behind. There's a large stacks of rubble. It's stony rubble that you could hide behind.
I want to see what's in there, but I want to go in there a little bit sneaky.
Okay. Well, you hear that noise, and it seems to be, you hear a... and it seems to be coming the way that it's towards the door aperture. So, are you going to go up to the door? Are you going to hide? What are you going to do?
I'm going to hide.
Okay. So that means you're going to need to roll me an agility to hide, which your agility is pretty good anyway, so you're not going to have to worry about that. You got to roll a d8 with it, ding ding.
17.
No, you got to roll a d8 with it. 17 plus what?
17 plus 5.
So that's what?
22.
Okay. And then you we're also going to roll for
the boy with the shield and his spear.
And I believe he only gets to add a d6. I forgot to bring his up. What was I on?
The boys.
Okie dokie. So, and this thing... Okay, I don't even have to add his extra dice. Well, I do, actually. Okay. So, the creature, or thing, or whatever, seems to stop because you hear the boy's shield clang against some of the rubble. And in this silence of this place that you find yourself, it is very loud. When it sounds very loud. It's not loud, it's just a small bump against the rubble that he goes to hide behind. But that sound seems to catch this noisemaker's attention, and it starts to come closer and a bit faster. And it taps against the stone as it starts to come. And
I want to go to the other side.
Okay, he went left and you went right?
Yes, if there's rubble.
Okay, so there's rubble all over the place and on both sides. So you went to the left and you went to the right as a cat.
I want to go as fast as I can to the other side.
That's not hard. You are able to make it to the other side and still be quiet as a cat. The boy looks and watches you go, and he hides. He knows that he's gotten its attention accidentally. So now it is time to see what this thing is.
I have my crossbow, so I can go like...
No, it's not coming from the bottom. It's coming from the doorway that you guys found. The noise is coming from the doorway you guys found.
Yeah, I want to go to this side.
You want to go back over the edge?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The boy sees you do that, and he kind of looks over the edge, and he didn't like that whole thing about going back over, so he doesn't do that, but you do.
I'm kind of scared. Until I see what it is, I'm not coming back over.
Okay.
That's what I tell him.
He doesn't...
Until I know what it is, I ain't coming back over.
Okay, so he kind of looks at you, just shakes his head, because we established last time that it's not just that he can't talk, that there's also this language barrier that you're trying to get over, and he doesn't seem to understand, but he goes back and watches his door. He's got his spear and his stuff and his shield ready, and
I'm just kind of motioning. I'm not coming back over until I see what it is.
He just kind of looks at you and then watches the doorway again. He doesn't grasp all that you're trying to tell him. He kind of gets an idea, but he doesn't grasp everything. And he watches the door, and you look back at the door too.
Wait, am I on the other side? On the other ledge side?
Yes, I figured that you were trying to also watch the door. Is that correct?
No, not until I got up there.
Okay. So, first you hear a scratching as you imagine that some claws have come out from the aperture, and you hear chittering type of noise, and you hear it stop for a second, and you hear a hiss, and you think it has seen the shield boy.
So I peek back over a little bit until I can see over, and then I go back.
Okay. So
hopefully he doesn't see me.
I need to bring up the shield boy real quick. But what you see is this image of to kind of explain it, you see arms, Okay, long, gangly, humanoid arms, but they're tipped with claws. And it's like they've been fused to each of the fingernails, and on some of them there's too little or too many fingers. And there's probably 8 or 10 sets of arms, and they're attached to this amalgamation of torsos. Each set seems to be attached to a torso, but the torso doesn't appear to be human arms. These pale white arms aren't attached to human arms, human torsos. They're attached, and the skin kind of changes into a kind of leathery, snaky like torso that stretches between all of them. But it's not snake-like, it's only skinned like a snake. The skin is like a snake, and the shape is like that of what you would think a human's torso would be, but they're all kind of fused together. And on the top of these torsos is a head, and it looks like a human with long, oily hair, the top part, but the face of it has spider-like eyes, and the lower jaw are these mandibles clittering and cracking back and forth, and you hear it again, and the rest of its back part of its body is this bulbous spider-like insectoid thorax, or abdomen. And so this creature, this weird, odd creature, disturbing looking, starts to move quickly forward towards the boy who has placed his shield up. So, what do you want to... We're gonna roll for initiative is what we're gonna do.
What? He could have seen me?
No, but he's seen the boy, and he's going after the boy. Shield bearer. So,
wait.
You roll first, and we'll write down everybody's
I want to shoot
initiative.
At it with my thing. But
you're on the other side.
Yeah, I want to do this.
Okay, well you can't do that until we roll initiative, because you went on the other side.
Wait, what do I do?
You roll an agility roll. Your agility is
I'm
over.
already on the other side.
Yes, but we need to see who goes first. Plus your agility.
What?
Plus your agility, which is a...
Which is a what?
Which is a...
1d8?
Mm-hmm. No. If pyramids are 4s, then the diamonds are 8s.
5. 23.
Okay, Caesar is 23. This thing is crazy kind of amalgamation thing is going to also roll his. Let me get the right thing. He's at 18. And then the boy will roll his, and we will see how well you all face this grotesque creature of strangeness. Oh, gotta get up to his agility. Alright. Alright. So, you, and then the boy, shield boy, got 21. Alright, so it goes Caesar, shield boy,
Creature,
spider amalgamation thing. So, This thing starts to gesture and twist and contort and move towards the shield boy. Now, you are on the other side. What do you want to do as a cat?
I want to turn into a human for one and get my crossbow out.
Okay, so you want to turn into a humanoid? All right.
No, me.
You want to turn into you.
Yes, get my crossbow out, and I want to lean over and look and go, right, and I want to aim for the torso or head.
Okay, so you're gonna roll your attack then, and the crossbow attack uses your agility, so that is going to be in a
1d8.
So here's the d20. Get your d8. Yes.
A 9 and a 2. That's not very good.
It's not very good.
It's only 11.
11. So you put a bolt in and you go, and you see it. Well, you see it kind of glance off its head. And it kind of stops for a second to take note of where that came from. So it's going to make a perception to do that. Are you trying to hide?
No, I just go back over.
Okay, we're going to say that that's hiding. Roll another stealth check, which would be an agility check, to make sure that you can get back over there without him seeing you. What? 10. Well, you can always roll low. Let's see. It looks like no. He rolled a 15. So he sees you do that. Or it sees you do that. You don't know what type of creature it is, if it even has a gender with all the stuff it has going on.
Now for the me again. No.
Shield now boy. For Shield Boy. All right, and you still haven't asked his name, so we'll just keep calling him Shield Boy. He's going to. He's going to. I think we can invoke. He's going to
attack while it's away.
Yes, that's what he's going to try to do, and he's going to try to use his. He's just going to try to attack it first to try and get its attention. He's not going to try and invoke a Bane yet. He wants to see what we can do about that. So he's going to use his agility first for his spear attack. He's going to clang his shield against his spear and have a boom ring out. It has this kind of brassy tone when he clangs it like that, and so he's going to lunge in and strike quickly at the creature. And yes, he's just going to go for an attack right now, so I need to get the d6, not the d8. Ooh, only an 8 total, so that does not beat this thing's guard. So this thing gets to then pick who he's going to attack. Both of you have struck at it, so it's going to probably attack the closest person, which would be the Shield Boy. So he's going to it is going to attack the Shield Boy. It's going to use its bite. So that means it's going to be it's going to try and snap out with its head, and it's really weird as it tries to snap down at him with his head, it looks like a very pale white, bleachy white, like the arms, humanoid neck that has this spider facial stuff attached to it, but its neck kind of stretches a little bit. Nothing crazy, not like it's going to get extra reach, but it kind of is this unnerving whip-like bite. And it's a 2d6, goodness. Ooh. 22 versus his guard. So, yes, that is going to hit. 22 over his guard. Damage would be... Alright, 4 damage. So, where's that? There we go. That's max. Okay. I'll get that entered in. Where'd that go? 4. Okay, there. So he's got 4 damage. He seems to be really sturdy, but you can tell that this thing, when it bites down, it's got multiple mandibles. Multiple points like a spider. And as it bites down, you can tell that it pierced into his skin, and when it withdraws its bite, some green liquidy ichory type stuff comes out of its fangs, so you know that it has tried to poison him, and he's going to have to roll versus that. That's not all I'm doing. So he's going to roll against that, which means he's going to have to roll his fort. And we're going to use the alternate rule where resistances are versus your attribute plus the d20, and you're trying to beat a 10 plus their attribute, and you get to add your attribute score to your d20. So he's going to roll his fortitude, which is a 2. He's going to roll a d20 and add 2 because of his fortitude. This thing has I believe it's using, it seems to be using alteration for all of its abilities, so he's got to beat a 13. And ooh, he rolls a 19 on the dice. So yeah, the boy seems to shake it off. So he doesn't get sickened or poisoned, but you can tell that it does have that ability. So now we're back at the top of the round. What do you want to do? What is Caesar gonna do? There's this nasty, big-looking creature fighting against this dude that just saved his life.
I shoot him.
You shoot at him with your crossbow again?
Yes.
Okay, you can do that. We'll go back over to your sheet. So, that's going to be an agility roll, which yours is a d8.
A 7.
You can re-roll the d8 because it was tilted.
And an 8.
Okay.
15.
15 plus his guard. Unfortunately, his guard is 17. So, no, wait. This guy's not exactly that thing. So, he actually does not have that good of a guard. You do hit him at a 15. So, you hit him at a 15, and you do minimum damage because you meet it. Minimum damage in this game is 3, so we will keep track of his hit points. Spider nasty dude's hit points. Nasty things hit points. Again, don't know if it even has gender. Now it is Shield Boy's turn. Shield Boy is going to, this time, attempt to do his own form of persistent damage, and he's going to try and invoke a Bane of persistent damage by using his spear attack to lunge into the creature's underside and try and slice into it a couple times. Just puncture it a couple times with his spear in critical places that he thinks might be critical places. So, that's an agility for him. He's going to do his D6 with his D12. Let's see. Ooh, he didn't roll super good. He did not roll high enough. So he only got an 11. Yep, he only got an 11. So he does not invoke the Bane. He tries, but you can tell his equipment isn't in the best shape. So you're not sure what it is. It might be the equipment, but it seems to glance off at the wrong spots. Apparently the underside has some similar scales kind of wrap around into it. So that is its turn. This amalgamation, an abominable spider thingy, goes and it tries to probably do to keep him from moving is what it's going to do. It's going to try and shoot a web at him. So its abdomen, which looks more like a wasp abdomen than a spider's bulky abdomen, that's attached to this reptilian set of torsos, arches forward and shoots out some webs towards him. And it's going to be its alteration versus his guard, which it could very well beat his guard, as it's already beat his guard before. So 9. It does not beat his guard.
Yes.
So the thing spits out the web, this odd-looking web at him, and it doesn't. It is kind of green, and it doesn't look like a regular spider's web, which is a white, silky type material. This does not look that way. It looks
like a slime.
Thick, yeah, and kind of slimy and thick, like that same stuff that makes up its venom and makes up that, or coats it and is on top of it. So it kind of splatters against some of the rubble as he kind of dances out of the way and he can't speak or make noise, but looks at it. Oof, glad that missed type thing. So it's going to do that. It's not really going to move. It's pretty well focused on him, and because you did minimum damage. That he hasn't managed to hit it. So it kind of looks over towards you and starts to move your way. And that's what it does for its movement. It doesn't attack, and then it moves over towards your way instead. Because you've actually damaged him some. So, now it is your turn.
I turn into a giant spider.
What?
I turn into a giant spider.
Okay. So you do your alteration to change into a giant spider. You don't even have to roll for it because we've been doing boon. He has the boon for it. He doesn't even have to roll if it's single target, from what I understood about the boon, what I've been educated about the boon. So you go ahead and shift into that spider form then, a full giant spider.
I go over and I go.
You try to web him back. So you shift into a spider, and that takes your action to shift into a spider. So you can still move, but you've shifted into the spider. You can move or stay there, but he sees you do it. It sees you do that.
I move back. I move back.
So you're on the underside, and you move backward some. Is that what I'm hearing?
I move backward into that hallway thingy.
Okay, remember, you're on the other side now. To move back into the other hallway, you'd have to move pretty much all your movement. Is that what you want to do?
No, I want to move back halfway then.
Halfway towards the hallway you came from originally?
Yes.
Okay. So on this underside, you move back towards that aperture of a hallway, the hallway aperture, and you are able to fully do that in your spider form. No problems. It's now Shield Boy's turn, and he sees this thing moving away. He doesn't want it to get away from him, so he's going to attempt to immobilize it. And since agility hasn't been working so hot for him, he's going to use his might to try and stab one of the claw arm things right into the palm, sticking it into the ground. So that's what he's going to try to do this time.
Does he make it? Boom, boom, boom.
We'll see. We'll see if his might pays off better than his agility.
Where's his might?
Oh, well, it does. 17 plus 4, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That is over the guard, and let me see. The guard we said was 15. So do the math. 17 minus 15.
What? 2?
2. So minimum damage is 3. So this thing takes 3 more damage. That means it's up to 6 damage. All right. So this thing is no. Pardon me. It doesn't take damage. He was invoking a bane. So it stays at 3 damage, which is fine, but it's immobilized. It can't move. It's got to beat his might plus 10, which will be 12 for those keeping track at home. Now we have this creature stuck to the ground, and you see this as it's trying to move. It goes as it looks, and you hear it go and turn back, and you know it's looking at him. So we're going to see what goes on with that, because it's not very pleased with him. Now, what would it do? It's stuck, so it's only immobilized. It's not helpless or anything. So we're going to go ahead and say that it's going to resist that, which that would be its. We're going to use its might, because it doesn't appear to be incredibly intelligent, though it does appear to have a semblance of cunning. So we're going to say that it's going to try and jerk its hand free first, which it gets double ones, so it definitely does not work. It actually is 10 less than the difficulty, so we're going to say that it actually caused itself some damage, just a d4 of damage. So you can roll the d4 for its damage. 1. So we're not going to make that extra damage do minimum damage. It just does 1 damage. So
yeah, because it is on there, it kind of hurt, and it hurts a lot.
Mm-hmm. So it does some damage to itself doing that. So it doesn't get to move. That's basically what immobile does. You can correct me in the comments if you want, but I believe that that's just what immobile does. So that means it's going to try and do something that it can. It's going to use its web again. No, it's going to use its bite. It's definitely going to use its bite. it is upset at this dude that just stuck it into the ground. Slammed a spear down and stuck it into the ground. So, it's going to do that. And... It's a 4, okay. So, 16 plus 4, 22. That does beat the guard by 4. So that's 8 damage to Shield Boy. And he still seems okay. He's going to have to resist again versus this Icarus poison. And that means he's going to roll his 4, choose a d6. No, he's going to roll and get it +2. So, he just barely hits what he needs to not take any kind of damage, or not become sickened from that. So, thankfully, that is good for him. It does do minimum damage, though. No, wait. I already did the damage. Why am I doing that? Alright. Now, Spider has had its turn. What is Caesar gonna do? He sees that it got stuck.
I ain't going to the other side. It's gonna spit at me.
It's gonna spit at you. You haven't seen it spit.
Poison at me. I'm not taking that risk. It's spitting poison at me.
Okay, so you're gonna leave Shield Boy up there?
No, I'm gonna shoot a bolt at it. Bolt at it.
Okay, there is space for you to do that.
Is it looking away?
Well, I mean, it's looking at him.
So I do that. What's it gonna take?
You're going to use your agility to shoot your bolt, right? That means you need to shift. You need to... It still takes an action for you to shift between things.
Wait, I'm a giant spider, right?
Right.
Oh, now I see. I go to the other side and go...
Okay. So...
That's what I wanted to do earlier.
Okay, so you want to go over to the other side, but you want to do it...
fast.
Okay.
But I want to know. I'm aiming at him.
You're aiming at him to put the stuff up, so...
So I'm tying his arms together.
Right. You're trying to do you're trying to enhance the immobilize that's on him already.
Yes. So I can just smack him with my spiked sword. Go.
Okay. So, as he's fighting against as it's fighting against its hand that has been, its long, gangly arm hand that has been stuck into the ground, it sees you, and are you coming up right in front of it, or are you coming up to the side of it, or what are you doing?
I'm coming to the ledge that the Shield Boy's on, and I'm gonna aim like this.
Okay, you're coming to the side of it. Okay.
I go this way, then I go around.
You only have so much movement. So you move what you can, and you get up on the side by it, over near it, and you shoot at it.
Yes.
So that means that you need to roll an alteration, which will be, that's basically the same alteration that you have, a 5. So 2d6. This plus 2d6. Is that a 6? Yes, the cubes are 6. 2 of them. Roll another one. Okay.
Okay, that is a 15. 21.
21. That's well past its guard. So you invoke the Bane of Immobile by using the web. You sprayed a web over it. This does look like a spider's web. You spread that web and it starts to tangle in on its limbs and arms, and it so it is doubly immobile now. So we're gonna say that's tied it up. All it can really do now is bite. It doesn't seem like it can reach anybody to do anything with its arms now.
What about its butt?
Well, it seems pretty tied up. So all it's got right now is its bite, from what you can see. So, and that's only if you're right there near it. So, it is now Shield Boy's turn. His spear is stuck in the ground to keep it immobile, but with you having that done, he's gonna kind of pull it out and kind of get a jump, run up some of the rubble and jump and try and stab down into it. So
what is his roll?
He's going to roll a might.
Because might worked for him last time.
Yeah, might worked better last time. So he's going to roll a might.
That's 12.
12? Actually, with it being immobilized, I think that does lower its... I actually need to look that up. Alright, so story time. Banes.
Yay, story time.
And then immobile. Effect, your target cannot move from its current space. If invoked, the Bane might roll that are within 5 of the target, then both you and the target are immobile. When grappling. If you invoke the Bane with any option other than might, you can move freely. Special, if affected target succeeds a resist roll, effect ends, it can move 15 feet. Okay, it doesn't say that it lowers its guard or anything like that, but I'm gonna say that it does, because part of your guard is your agility, so we're gonna take its agility away from it, which means it would be lowered. I've already fiddled with the stats some to lower its guard anyway, but its guard is down, and let me see, that was a 6, 12. No, he would just miss it. So he comes down and he tries to stab into it, and it just it gets right there. You can see that he kind of glanced across its face, but not enough to cause damage. And he kind of looks up at it and readies his shield.
Wait, isn't he tied up? That means he's like on the ground like this, right?
No, because the web just spread around him, and it's got his feet all tied up and stuff. So now it's its turn, and it has to beat a 15 now because of your alteration being a 5. So it's going to roll its, probably, with the way it's stuck now, it's going to have to roll might to get out. So it's going to roll a d20 plus 2 for its might. What's this? 13, 14, 15. It just barely breaks. So it goes. You see it kind of hunker down and go push up with all of its strength, and it goes. You hear the twines snapping. They snap and they sound almost like wires snapping, because that's how strong spider webs are. And
in the bug world.
In the bug world. And so it has these webs hanging off of it now, but it's free to do what it wants to, and so it is going to
attack me.
It's going to do a multi-attack, which means it's going to attack more than once, but it's going to do so
also, I did not come on the other side.
Yes, you had to hit him.
Yeah, but then I went back over.
He can't reach you from where you shot him from anyway. Well, he could walk over to you, but he's
Shield Boy would probably spear him.
Shield Boy's kind of got his attention because he kind of got right up in his face. He'll go for Shield Boy this time, methinks, because he's right up underneath him, and he doesn't like that. The creature doesn't like that. So it's going to do it's going to do a might attack. No, it's going to do an agility attack versus him. So it's going to start swinging, and it's going to do this at a penalty. So it may not hit. It's going to swing 3 times to try and hit. Not with his bite. He's going to swing 3 times with some claws. So first one does not. That's not going to beat it because it's a 6 and a 7 total. 6 plus 7. And that's not 15. It's not going to beat. That doesn't even touch Shield Boy. The first set of claws bounce ting, right off his shield. And the second, ooh, that will though. 19 plus 6, that's 25. 26, 27, 28, 29. 29? Ooh, that just barely beats his guard by 10, so he's going to take a Bane. And these have persistent damage as a Bane. So he's going to do 10, yes. Take a lot of damage. Ugh. And you see that as he's blocking with those others, you see the other claws kind of swing underneath and slice into Shield Boy's ribs area, and it cuts through his armor and goes, well, he can't scream, but you see his mouth come open in a silent anguish, and he one eye closes and keeps the other open to focus in. He gets another swing. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That just is his armor, so it is his guard. So that does not hurt him. I don't think. Is it? I believe it's tied to defender in Open Legend. So, if it is not, let me know in the comments below. But I believe it's tied to defender. Alright, so he gets hit. He becomes more conscious and draws in the shield a bit and hunkers down some more with that. And he controls himself a bit and focuses in. So that was its attack. What are you going to do? What's Caesar going to do? It's really working over. It seems to really work over Shield Boy, so.
Shoot more webs at it.
You shoot some more webs? Okay, that's an alteration roll. So a d20 plus your alteration is a 5, so 2d6. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong stat for this thing's alteration. Fix it. Reroll.
It was like this.
Well, then reroll.
Okay.
No, just the one that was tilted.
13, 6.
You get 2d6, dude. Your alteration is a 5.
Okay, 13.
Ooh, 12 plus 13.
That's 25?
25. 25, and so that beats his guard by over 10.
Yay!
So you get to, oh wait, this is a web. So you shot some webs. So we're going to say that not only does it web him, but it's stronger than last time, so he's going to he's going to have to roll with disadvantage to be able to break out of it. Which means he has to roll twice and take the least of the scores. So, now it is Shield Boy's turn. What he's going to do is he's going to hunker down and he's going to clang his shield again and say he mouths. He wouldn't even mouth anything. So he would clang his shield and gesture at it and then hunker down to try and basically provoke it to attack him over you, because he's saying he's ready for it. What he's doing is he's focusing on defending himself. and he's going to use his presence to be able to entice that thing to come after him instead of you or anybody else, to focus in on him.
I'm actually the one who's shooting it to stun it, and he's the one who's attacking it to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what's happening.
Well, not bad on the D10. 12? Let me make sure. 12. This thing resolve is really high. 23? Wow. Alright, so it does not seem to fall for that, but you can tell that even if it hasn't fallen for it, he's focused in on defending himself.
And
so
he's
it's unlikely
basically
that he's going
stuck. If he used all of his strength last time, he won't be able to get out of this one.
Well, he'll have to roll with disadvantage.
Which means he probably won't get out of it.
Probably not, because he has to beat 15. And his might and his agility wouldn't apply, but his might would. So, now it's Caesar's turn. What's going to happen?
Gonna shoot some more webs at it. Double.
More webs? He already can't move. Well, he already can't swing with his arms.
I'm still gonna shoot webs at him, but this one I want to have poison on this one.
You can't put. It doesn't work that way.
How does it work then?
That's not how spiders work.
If he can put poison on his web, I can too.
No, that would require an alteration roll. You would have to be able to alter this thing's physiology to be able to mimic putting venom on a web. So, if you want to try an alteration roll first, we can see.
Will that take up my whole turn?
No.
I'll still be able to attack?
You'll still be able to shoot a web. Your alteration is a 5, so you'd get 2d6. So it's
23.
23?
I think. Yes, 23.
You think that maybe you can. So you think you've altered the internal physiology enough to be able to put venom on there. You're not sure how strong it'll be, but you think that you can put venom on there.
I want it to be the same, but I want to put venom on it.
Well, you haven't even been hit by it. You don't know what it's like to do that. So
okay,
you
I'll
can
shoot
try.
At it.
Okay.
Like that.
Shoot a web. That's going to be your alteration versus its guard. For your alteration, it's a 2d6 again. Well, we can just use the last roll you did on your alteration.
So that was a 23.
23? That does break its guard. You do think that it has affected it some, because now the head is like, and it looks over at you, and you're just far enough away that it can't get you without breaking loose. So that's your turn.
Okay, what does Shield Boy do?
Shield Boy, seeing that it is not moving, that it's pretty well stuck, he's going to go ahead and attack it some more. He's going to use his might again to try and just jab it. No, he's going to use...
Well, he'd have to break through my web.
He's going to use his... No, it doesn't work that way, story-wise. He's going to use his agility, actually, to try and do a persistent damage on it. So he's going to try and slice in at some points and joints in those weird arm things that it's got going on.
Tentacle arms.
Ooh, he gets 22. And his guard is lowered right now. That is 10 above. So, yes, it does persistent damage at a D4
That
a
means
round.
his guard's 12.
Yes. No, you're right. It's not 10 above. It's just below. That's why you can invoke a Bane with just regular attack. So, that's what he does. He swings in, he hits that, and it's going to do a D4 of damage each round. So I'll set that right there. And we'll do it at the top of his round each time. So now it's the spider's turn. It's going to try and
The thingy
get out.
spider's turn.
The abomination spider thing. It's going to try and get out. It's going to try and roll its might. Agility really wouldn't. I mean, it could make a case for it. It might make a case for it. We'll say that it's going to try and just wiggle as fast and hard as it can to try and get out. So we're going to give it a chance. We're going to give it a fighting chance. It's going to get to roll 2d6 plus its d20, but it's rolling with disadvantage because of your really good success on the web.
Okay, what is the disadvantage?
It's actually, I think sickened makes it have 2 disadvantages, so it's got to roll 3 times.
And pick the lowest one.
Mm-hmm. So first is 5, 6, 10. That's
probably
a fail.
not going to beat me in web, especially my 2 webs.
Okay, so that's a fail. There's no real reason to have to roll some more. That's
Wait,
a
did you write
success,
down the
but it
first
doesn't
one?
matter. It doesn't matter. I could roll 2 more. I could roll another time, but he's got 2 disadvantages on him, so he rolls, and he failed, basically.
Yeah.
So he's still stuck. He can't resist. The only thing he can reach right now is Shield Boy. He's going to try and bite down at Shield Boy, but he's going to take disadvantage on that with his agility attack too.
Yay!
Because actually it takes 2 disadvantage, I think.
14, nope.
That would beat his stuff, so let's see if the next one would go lower.
A little bit?
16,
One more
17.
time.
That would fail. That would fail against his guard, so it wouldn't. We don't even have to roll the next time.
But what if it's lower the next time?
It won't matter. He'll miss. I mean, he can get ones, but we're not. I haven't done any kind of crit fail things yet, so we'll roll again. He does not crit fail. In fact, he does really a lot better. So that is that. Now we're back up to Caesar's turn. He's pretty well stuck. So
I do another web.
You do another web?
No, I don't.
Okay. Oh, he also is supposed to take damage.
What?
No,
every turn?
he's sickened. That was what it does. That was what the venom did. He was sickened. And he didn't resist the sickened. So we'll go ahead and let him
try
resist
that.
the sickened.
Trying.
11 plus his... Nope, does not. So, what do you want to do?
Did he resist it?
He did not resist the... He seems to still be sickened. You see that his mandibles are dripping this icky, yucky junk out of him now.
It's trying. I think its body is pushing out the poison.
Don't know. So what is Caesar gonna do?
I'm going to. First off, I want to turn into my normal self.
Okay, you revert back to your normal self.
Does that take an act?
It still takes an action, a standard action right now, I think.
I'm in combat, but he's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. I'll make sure. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing.
I want to do that, and I want to attack him with my sawtooth blade.
Okay. So shapeshift takes a major action. Now, you have boon focus. So let's go over here to feats and make sure I'm understanding boon focus appropriately. Because I know it makes you faster.
Reading time.
You can invoke boon. Power level you can access via your thing. Location, single target, success is automatic. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't speed up until tier 2. It takes a major action. Which I think, yeah, we've been rolling that a little loose. So it takes a major action.
I was still kind of pushing it with the dragon. Looking like an older dragon, but still having the stats of a young dragon. I was still kind of, I think we were kind of pushing that.
Yeah. So, you can shift down and get ready to attack next turn if you want to. Do you want to move? You're going to have to move closer to attack next turn.
But he's going to bite me. I just shift down.
He could. Okay. You can move next turn. You don't have to move right now.
But if I move, can I attack him?
Not this turn.
After I move? Next turn?
Right. After
okay, I just shift down this turn, and I get my sawtooth blade out.
Okay.
And then it's Shield Boy's turn. And what does he do?
He attacks again. He was successful with the persistent damage, which I don't think that ticked last time. I need to tick that. It does 1 damage to this thing. So
wait, what's
it ticks down.
What's it tell?
Well, it says up here, I'm using that most of that thing's stats. So it's about 1/4 of the way down. He's going to use his agility. 16. That is enough to hit the creature, and so it does minimum damage of 3.
So are we halfway down his health now? And also, is this supposed to be a boss?
No, this is not a boss.
Why is it taking so long?
Because there's only 2 of you, and there's usually more people. But that aside, it's not... You guys are doing fine. You've got it webbed down, so it's not a problem.
Well,
and you've kept it from using its multi-attack, so...
Well, you did take a while doing the detailing it.
I've got it shifted around in my head some. So that is its turn.
Shield Boy's.
That's Shield Boy's turn. Now it's going to be it. It's going to try... It's going to try again to wriggle itself out with its agility as best it can, but it's taking 2... Oh, let's resist first.
Wait, it has 2 debuff things. They're called.
It's no longer sickened, so it only has 1 debuff.
No.
Oh wait, that's the wrong thing.
No.
But the D20 was still high enough, so it's not sickened anymore. So it only has 1 debuff to 1 disadvantage to try and break out from the web. Why am I using both of those? Oh, it does break out of the web.
No!
Yep. It resists the breaking out. Oh wait, I've got to roll twice. Let's see. No, it doesn't. It stays
yes!
in the web. It stays in the web because of the disadvantage. Alright, now it's going to try and attack with its bite.
Again.
I guess agility against the only person close enough, which is Shield Boy. But he's the... no, he's not defending. Alright, it does not hit Shield Boy.
Yay!
Its teeth come down and they kind of... Its mandibles kind of open up wide and wrap around his the top part of his shield for a second, and he just kind of tosses it off and readies himself. And It is Caesar's turn.
I move forward and attack.
You move forward and attack with your sawtooth blade.
I do it like this, because there is ways. I can do it like this, but I want to do it where I can saw him.
You want to kind of swing it in and saw attack. Okay.
Like this.
So that's going to be using your agility, and your agility is a D8.
1d8. 8.
No.
What?
That's the 10.
Oh.
There you go.
16. 19.
19.
That's not as high as a 20. I almost got a 20.
19. So.
No, I got a 16.
You got a.
I got. Okay, my total score is 19.
Yes, your total score is 19. So you definitely hit it, and it is his.
Also, I aim for the head.
He didn't break out.
I try to cut his head off.
Okay, you don't get high enough to do a Vorpal strike, but you do get high enough to do, let me see, his guard is 12, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You got 7 over, that's how much damage you do with that sawtooth thing.
7 damage. That's higher than Shield Boy got. I think he got 5 highest or highest.
He's not built for damage, so.
He's built for defense, right?
Right. So 7 damage. So he's not looking good. This thing's starting to go lean to one side and chitter and. But now it's Shield Boy's turn, and he sees you slice in, and the thing goes leans to one side, and that's down close to him. So he, so Shield Boy.
When he comes leaning, he goes.
Yeah, Shield Boy, when it goes leaning, he comes up and he tries to stab in as it kind of leans down. With, we're gonna say that he's stabbing up with his might.
His might worked for him. That is a +4.
15. That does hit, and it is 3 over, so that's how much damage it does. And you can tell that it's when he kind of leans down, Shield Boy times it, and he stabs up, and he smacks right into the head, and it goes across some of the eyes, some of those weird eyes, and into the greasy hair, this greasy white, nasty hair, and he goes. And it tries to bite down on you.
Me?
Yes, on Caesar.
What's my defense?
Yours is... well, you're not a spider, so you have your regular guard right now. So your guard is 15. So he has to beat a 15. But he's still in the web. So he has...
Disadvantage.
So
roll twice. That's the lowest so far, I think.
It's still enough, I think. No, it's not.
2. He's 2 below me.
2 below it, okay.
So he's not going to win next time either.
He won't win. He won't do this time.
Well, he would have won that time if he didn't have disadvantage.
Yeah, if he didn't have disadvantage.
I would have got hurt. But also, I haven't taken any damage.
And his disadvantage was only supposed to be for breaking out of the web. That was my fault for applying it to everything. Sorry, people.
Wait,
you can tell me about it in the comments, but...
Are we still going to do the disadvantage on everything?
Not after this round. That was my fault. So...
No.
But he does take that... You see that... He still...
Well, still, if you roll...
He takes 1 more damage
that
from the
persistent
persistent
time you rolled,
bleed.
he still would have wanted a 1. On that first roll.
That's right. So he would have missed you
Anyway.
with that first roll. Alright. Now, it is time for Caesar to go again. So Caesar, what you gonna do?
I'm Adonijah, not Caesar.
I know you are. What is Caesar going to do?
He's going to do another attack, and he's going to do this.
He's going to jump up, and slam down to slice the creature, huh?
No, he's gonna come up from the bottom and try to stab the under part of its chin or something.
Oh, he's gonna try to slide under the chin as he comes down to
Yeah,
bite
but
him?
it's still gonna kind of saw him.
I understand what you're saying.
Because it has two parts on all sides.
Okay, so that
Even
means you
the
need
tip.
to roll your agility, which is a D8. D8s are diamonds.
Are you holding it?
No, I'm not holding it. Alright, roll it.
It's 4. 15.
So that's a total
19.
19. So you go over his guard plenty, and you kind of swing down, and Caesar comes up and slices in, and you see its throat, its weird long necky throat thing, slice open, and
Not on me.
blood spills out onto your blade and onto your cloak.
No,
Yes.
I need to wash my clothes.
Yes. So
Wait, what color is it? Is it green?
No, the blood is kind of this black, nasty
Okay, then it'll
blood.
wash off, and even if it stains, it'll still blend in with my thing because my thing's black.
All right. So you slice in, and it slumps to the ground, and you and Caesar both look at you and Shield Boy both look at each other, and he nods determinedly at you. And that is where we'll cut it.
Of
Right
course,
now.
because you're trying to be dramatic.
Dramatic. So,
You were trying to be dramatic with that whole thing there.
all right. We hope you enjoyed, everybody. We hope that you were able to really get into the battle. Sometimes it can be hard to get the battle juices flowing when we're just talking and having to use our brains for visualization, but hopefully you were able to. Hopefully you liked if you like the current floating tower thing that we have going on there, you can let us know. If you want a different graphic for the front to look at while we talk about it, then you can let us know about that too. But
Even though it took you like an hour to do it.
no, it didn't. All right.
It took almost an hour.
We hope you had a great time. As always, have a great time. God bless. Goodbye.
Bye. This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.